here is my advice for digital priorities for a better Canada. I'm going to focus on 3 things that will not only make Canadians' lives better, but that'll also make us more productive and more competitive, 2 things our country dearly needs to succeed. My top priority is for the majority of Canadians to be able to file taxes online without the use of an accountant. In Estonia, you can do this in 5 minutes. The CRA already has the information it needs to file taxes on behalf of most Canadians, and the goal here would be to receive an email with CRA's estimate of what you owe, a link to how they calculated it, and another link to provide information to request a reassessment if necessary. And what most people don't really realize about this and why it's so important is that many of the benefits that politicians announce for poorer Canadians simply never reach those people if they don't file their taxes. So this measure can help the poor more than anyone. Next up for me is national healthcare records. Yes, I get healthcare is a provincial responsibility, so someone please tell federal politicians and voters that. But the fact remains that healthcare is not infrequently delivered outside of one's home province, and the federal government coming up with a system that could serve all Canadians would be far better than waiting for 10 provinces to get up to speed, and probably safer too, and we'll talk about that in the next point. Third is to be able to vote online. This election cost taxpayers about $600 million and employed 250,000 workers, so that each of us could put a single check marks in a single box. And that doesn't even consider lost work time for going to the polls or other related costs, including environmental costs if you're doing calculations like that. So what is our national reluctance in 2025 about doing these things? Well, one of my favorite sayings I've heard about Canada during my years working in international development was that the Canadian bureaucracy is so risk-averse that if they were a hockey team, they'd put 6 goaltenders on the ice. Well, we can no longer afford that luxury, and anyone who's suffered through the now nearly $4 billion Phoenix pay system fiasco has seen how the combination of risk aversion and a deep lack of accountability is a recipe for disaster in complex systems like these. And while it may not be comforting, we also need to get over the fear of online attacks. Between social media oversharing by most people and the regular hacks we see of banks, hospitals, and the like, that ship has sailed. If that's an unsurmountable concern for you, then maybe we just need to do a better job at it, which takes me to my final point. While our modern political culture has been deeply invested in training us that words matter more than actions, that's just not true. So if you want to claim that Canada is the greatest country in the world and nothing is beyond us, then let's actually do the hard work of proving that, because we've been doing a terrible job of it for a while now. Will some accountants lose their jobs with online tax filing? Yes, of course they will. Will some people have their medical data compromised? Yes, and that's already happening. But will Canadians be happier and more productive? Yes, they will be, and the risk is worth it. Canadians need to start pairing their strong words in support of Canadian independence with a tolerance for risk and an insistence on change that Canada cannot succeed without. So let's do what's right, make sure our citizens are digitally literate. Let's make sure all of these systems are completely audible and transparent so that citizens will always know whenever anyone, anywhere uses their data. But most importantly, let's make sure that we're willing to match our words to our actions, hold our politicians and bureaucrats to account, and stop pretending it won't be hard. We're Canadian. We can do this. Let's prove it. I'm the Other Mac.